but then they would test you along the way. So they would physically break you down where you're mentally and physically tired, and then they would start testing you on things that they had taught you to do. So they bring you in, they teach you hands-on stuff, and then they put you out in the field, and you're working your butts off, and you're getting tired, you're mentally tired, you're physically tired, and then they start testing you. And those tests mean something. You either pass or fail. And so it was very stressful, especially when you get into, like, you've already been there 6 months, and they could still drop you. So you put all this time and energy and effort in it, and at the end, they could say, you're just not the right guy. It's not a good fit for us. So you're trying to figure out what that looks like too.
Yeah, what do you think they're looking for beyond? Because, the SF community, if I were to stereotype, there's obviously the physical resilience side of things, but there's also like such mental acuity and such an intelligent core that go into SF. Like, it's a different type of mentality. You guys you clearly have the global perspective by virtue of having grown up as a third culture kid and all that. But what else do you think they're looking for beyond just the physical aspect?
I think it's the agility part of it. You kind of touched on a little bit. Mentally and physically agile, be able to adapt. We used to always say adapt and overcome. And that's kind of what it is. You have to adapt to the environment, adapt to the stress, and then be able to execute. And it doesn't really matter personality-wise so much at times, because we've got nerds in there, we've got athletes in there. And I always say the best special forces teams are not type A personalities. They're not all athletes. You got to have a mixture of guys. And so Special Forces does a really good job of finding that mix of people that are good with computers, that are good with communications gear, that are good with medical stuff, and not everybody's like that. I mean, we cross-train each other, but we cross-train each other at a basic level so we can survive. But our medics, best in the world, where do they get these guys? Where are these kids, fresh out of high school, some of them that have that ability to jump in and be that way? I mean, there was a story, a buddy of mine was hit with the RPG round in the arm, and it took his arm off. And he was a commo guy. And so the story goes, he brings the radio with one arm to the team leader and basically says, I can't make commo. I can't function. And the team's like, oh, shit. So they wrap him up and they start medevacing him back in a taxi, of all things. They were downtown Baghdad. And they get him back to the base camp. And the kid that starts working on him, fresh out of the qualification course as a medic, just got out. And he starts working on it. And he remembers to this day that medic and how good he was and how well he took care of him, talking to him. And talking him down and saying, we got this, I know how to do this, we're going to take care of you. I mean, Briscoe, don't worry about it. And when he told me that story, I was like, my God, man, that kid must have been like, because we started letting him in pretty young, like 20, 21 years old. And he goes, I think it was like 19. It's like, what? And so they do a great job of finding these guys, and it's humbling. It's really humbling to be a part of that with them, because they're awesome people.
Yeah.
So we get out of the vehicle, Joe's still in the back seat. We return fire, and I quickly realize we need to get the heck away from this vehicle. This vehicle's dead. We're not going to get it started. We find out later that we pieced it all together that when some of those RPGs came in and took out Joe's arm, some shrapnel hit the gas tank and knocked a big hole. Because we went back to this area and you could see the big fuel spill. And all the gas came out. So we only had the gas and the fuel lines. That's why we just drove that short distance and ran out of fuel. So we're sitting there on this road, and I looked to my right and looked to my left, and I don't see much. And I see something way down my left, way down there. There's a couple of vehicles, and I tell Chuck, abscond that vehicle. I'll get Joe. And so I turn, I open the door, and Joe's kind of in and out of it. He's lost a lot of blood. As you'd expect, he's lost his arm. And I said, Joe, we're getting the fuck out of here. It sounds weird to say this. It feels like there's this force field around me. And the rounds are hitting all around me. And but Joe's not hitting, I'm not getting hit. And then I start running. RPGs are flying by. They shot at least 2 RPGs at me. I said, oh, there goes an RPG. There goes another RPG. I'm running, and none of these rounds are hitting me. I'm like, I'm going to get hit any second. We're both going to go down hard. We're going to be screwed. Nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered. I was going to get Joe to that vehicle no matter what. And it was just going to effing happen.
Yeah, saving lives in like the most difficult and gruesome situations. And it's just, when you think of like how they're able to just tune out the brutality that's happening around them, and they just laser focused on keeping this guy alive.
Yeah, it's
incredible.